Hello everyone and welcome back to Make Your Mind. This is the latest of my sculpture compilation videos. And this one's been a fun one, I gotta say. Getting back into SCP, it's been a blast, I gotta be honest. Getting into all of these and being able to show off these sculptures for you guys. But I'm not gonna make a very long intro here. Let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? The first SCP I'll be showing for this this showcase here. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Oh, there he is. I just had him off the camera. That's the first one. There we go. Here's the first of the SCPs, Scp-035 the Mask. The mask that attaches to its victims and slowly decomposes them and feeds off of them, creating this black slimy juice. It's like this gunk that comes out of its nose, its eyes, and its mouth, until eventually the host perspires, and then the mask waits for its next victim. Truly terrifying. There we go. Now I'm focused in. Sorry, my camera wasn't focused in. Is that better? You guys can see it? Yeah, that looks cool, doesn't it? So there's the first SCP. Scp-035, and now we'll get into the very first SCP that I ever made, which was Scp-939. This is a creature that is blood red because of the hemoglobin. It actually doesn't have an outer skin layer. It has these huge pores in the spines, and it has these massive claws and these huge teeth. It's a creature that mimics human speech in order to draw in its victims. And I have this sitting here just to help stand it up, because this wax clay, it doesn't want to stand up on its own. So don't worry, 939 hasn't been speared in the chest for no reason. So that is SCP-939, or at least one of the first forms of SCP-939. Here, I'm just trying to situate him so he can stand up. There we go. So there's 939. Now, the next one we're going to do is definitely one of the fan favorites. And that is Scp-049 the Plague Doctor. Definitely has an extensive lore and is certainly one of the coolest SCPs out there for sure. And this sculpture was a lot of fun. I got to use a lot of black to make his body, and this is his skin. This is SCP-049's skin, not a suit. And apparently all plague doctors back in the days actually modeled themselves off of SCP-049, where he continues to fight the pestilence, whatever the pestilence may end up becoming. Nobody really knows. And there's SCP-049. So here, I'll put him right here. There we go. Stay steady there, bud. You're good. Now, the next one is one that I did not too long ago, but it's definitely one of my favorite ones. Scp-457 the Burning Man. The all-consuming flame that as it consumes flame, it grows bigger, and when it gets to man size, if it consumes any more, it actually multiplies and becomes multiple beings that look in the shape of a human being. But it's just an all-consuming flame that consumes every fuel source that it can in order to grow in size. The only way to contain it is to extinguish the flame. That is SCP-457. Sorry, I got a toothpick behind helping him stand up. Just taking him a minute for him to stand up. There we go. Alright, another next SCP. Now we're getting into the fun ones. Let's get into one of my latest ones, shall we? Scp-096 the Shy Guy. I got him in this pose. This is actually when you see him in his chamber. He's actually stuck in the corner, and he's crying and not showing his face, because if anybody sees his face, he has to attack. And he will attack relentlessly until the person who saw his face is eventually gone. So that is SCP-096 the Shy Guy. Let's put Shy Guy right over here. We'll have him facing this way. There we go. Alright, next up, it's definitely one of the fun ones. Let me see. Do I have something? Yes, I do. Just trying to make something to be able to stand him up. Just because it's a little bit difficult, but I think I'll be able to get it okay. This is SCP-106 the Old Man. Now, I will say, since I made this sculpture, I actually went ahead and used a tool. As you can see, I tried to make his fingers. And they came out okay. But look at that smile. God, that smile is absolutely... it's just hideous. A decomposing being that leaves black sludge. And literally has the ability to create pocket dimensions and can transport through solid matter. It can transport through walls, ceilings, floors, everything, in order to get a hold of its victims. So that is SCP-106. Now we're getting into the big ones. We got both versions of the killer statue, SCP-173, the literal figurehead of SCP Containment Breach, the game itself. We got this version, which is the original. Everyone knows this one, but this one was actually created for the newer version of the game. It was updated with better graphics. And of course it has the concrete rebar that's exposed, and apparently the reason why the rebar is exposed on this one is because this is what SCP-173 looked like after it encountered the biggest of my SCP sculptures so far, SCP-682. The Indestructible Reptile. Look at this. God, I can't get over this one. This one is so cool. I love it how I gave it. It has all the eyes, because when SCP-173 was in its chamber, it had to evolve and adapt and make those eyes. It even has an eye back here and an eye back there. The spines are also another adaptation. It has another arm going out of it. Like so, it has all these blood vessels that are helping feed to regenerate itself. It also has these massive claws and these huge jaws. Look at that. Sorry, I'm messing with the teeth a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, SCP-682, you see part of his foot is taken off. He's got some damage here on the inside of his leg. And he's got two of the eyes that have been basically pulled out of its head. And that was because the Foundation tried to take out its eyes when 173 was actually in the container with it. And then here it has its exposed spine that goes all the way down to the exposed bone of the tail. Then underneath of here, with the toothpicks helping hold it up, I got all the organs that are exposed with the ribs and everything there. And then this gray sort of rotting skin, because SCP-682 is always inside of a vat of hydrochloric acid. So its skin is melting off. And once again, I bring up the question, is the Foundation making 682 stronger by showing it and by making it adapt to all of these weapons and conditions? I truly think that they are. They're making SCP-682 more dangerous than it needed to be. But there you have it, folks. So far, these are all of the SCPs that I have made. You got 096, 457, both 173s, 939, 035, 106, 049, and 682. I definitely have more of these coming up. And I want to do SCP-079 because the sentient ancient computer. That SCP is my absolute favorite, so I will be getting into those in the future. But until then, this is the compilation of all the SCP figures that I have made so far. Hang on, 939's not getting a little love. Let's put you right there. There you go. Now everyone can see ya. 035, you can go right down there. So check that out, folks. There's all of the SCP sculptures that I have made so far. And if you guys want to see more, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Leave a request. Which SCP do you want me to make? I've already had 2 SCPs requested. Let me see if I can find the list. I think one of them was SCP-3199. And then the other one was an SCP in the 4000s. I'm trying to remember which... I'm going through my notes here. Which one was it? Oh, I'm going through my notes here. Oh, it's okay. I'll have to put it in the comments down below. Or you know what? The SCPs that I've had requested, I will put them in the description. Those are the ones I have. But if you have any requests to get any SCPs, you know, within reason, I can't do SCP-3000, okay? That one is just too big. Anastasia, I cannot do SCP-3000 because that is like a 700-mile long sea serpent, and if you want to see a big sea serpent, just go click this video up here to go check out my gargantuan Leviathan. That thing is the biggest sculpture that I have ever done, and that should be close enough to SCP-3000 because I do not have enough clay to be able to make that. So I've had a lot of people requesting that, but maybe some of it was trolling, more than likely, but it's all good. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like these SCP videos and want to see more, don't forget to leave a like down below, and also subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications, so you don't miss the next SCP Sculpture Showcase. I've made all of these so far, and I will hopefully make even more for you guys. So until that day, come on, 939, stand up. There we go. There you go, 939. All right. And until next time, I will see you on the next SCP Sculpture Showcase.